Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the channel. Welcome to the next episode of the Hillbilly Files. For those of you who don't know, my name is Leo, and I will be your host today. And we are out today exploring an old ghost town in southern West Virginia today. Doing a little bit of camping right over there where I'm parked at. It's where I'm going to camp at tonight. But anyway, we are here at the old ghost town of O'Keefe, West Virginia. It doesn't exist anymore, but you know, that's how ghost towns work. Now, I stopped up here. This is one I found from satellite image, from Google Earth. Used to be an old house set up here, and I do believe that this may have been the supervisor. The superintendent lived up here. You can keep a real good eye on everything from up here. Sounds like we got a train coming. We may have to pause just for a second to let him go by, but we'll get him in the video first. Then we'll let him go. But beautiful place, just out here in the middle of nowhere. I mentioned in the camping video, you've heard of the middle of nowhere? This is the other side. Anyway, I'll be right back just as soon as the train passes. There he goes. He's gone. Gonna get real quiet here in a second. But anyway, as I was saying, this spot right here is apparently, I mean, you can see, fence posts, and I found, look here, stairs, what's left of a set of stairs, and the foundation stones of the old cabin that used to sit here. And you can see there was a porch over there, and had the bottom of it dug out a little bit, probably a little cellar underneath the house, something along those lines. But anyway, like I said, this was most likely superintendent, foreman, something along those lines that lived up here and could keep an eye on the rest of the town of O'Keefe. Now, let me get over here. Pretty view. We got the pretty view right here. I'm going to sit down and tell you guys a story. Now, okay, all comfy now. Now, the town of O'Keefe, it starts down here and goes up this way. It's a crescent moon kind of shaped thing. But it's an old, like I said, an old ghost town. It's an old mining town. There's a small coal town here in Mingo County, located in the same general area as Devon, Delbarton, and the Tug Fork Valley. That's the Tug Fork River right over there. It was never a very large town, and like many places in the area, it existed mainly because of coal. And it began in the late 1800s when railroads pushed into southern West Virginia and companies started opening mines in the mountains. But instead of building big towns, coal companies created what they called coal camps close to where the coal was. O'Keefe was one of those places. It would have been made up of simple company houses, likely a store, a post office, and some basic buildings for families who depended on the company for everything in their lives. But a post office was established here in the 1890s, which shows that it was an active and recognized community. But families lived here full time. Children were born here, men worked the mines, and daily life centered around the coal operation nearby. Even today, you can still find O'Keefe listed in some old records like birth records and death certificates, but life in a place like O'Keefe was definitely not easy. The work was hard and dangerous, and everything in your life revolved around the company. If a miner lost his job, he could very easily lose his house too. These camps were very controlled environments, and people depended heavily on the mine staying open. O'Keefe also sits in the same stretch of ground where the Hatfield-McCoy feud took place. And across these ridges were the homes of the Hatfields in West Virginia and the McCoys in Kentucky. Places like Mate One, Blackberry Creek, and the surrounding hollers were all part of that history. The same mountains, the same roads, and the same river that those families moved through are the same ones that run past where O'Keefe once stood. By the early 1900s, the same area would become known again for conflict during the mine wars. Nearby towns like Mate One saw violence between miners and coal companies over jobs, housing, and basic control. While O'Keefe itself isn't recorded as a major site of those events, it was part of the same region, and these people lived under the exact same conditions. Over time, like many coal camps and boom towns, O'Keefe began to decline. When mining slowed down or operations moved, there was simply no reason for a coal camp to be there anymore. People left to find work elsewhere. Houses were abandoned and buildings either fell apart or were removed. By 1951, the O'Keefe post office had closed forever. That's usually one of the last signs that a place is still functioning as a community. After that, the name started to fade, and the area became more commonly known as Devon, which is right down the road here a little ways. On maps and in everyday use, O'Keefe disappeared. Today, it is not a marked town. There are no clear boundaries or signs marking where it was. It exists today as part of the landscape, the hills, the hollers, and the back roads. But there are still traces if you know where to look. There may be old foundations like the one I just showed you, overgrown paths, small cemeteries where families from the coal camp are buried. O'Keefe was a real place with real people. It just followed the same path as many coal camps in Appalachia. Built quickly for work, lived in for a time, and then left behind when all that work was done. Now, like I said, we're going to do a little bit of exploring today. I'm here to do quite a bit, actually. But this is one of the places. I was kind of glancing, trying to find one of the cemeteries, but the old house here, I saw it on Google Earth before I left the house. I took the wrong turn. I came up that one and should have came up that one. But anyway, just thought I'd tell you a little bit about the town of O'Keefe before we start to do the exploring and camping and all that sort of thing. Should be a really cool video. Hope you guys stick around, and we'll see you in a minute. Straight down. One graveyard documented. Good start. Wild, ain't it? Don't look like a ghost town, but it is. They're here. The buildings and the ghosts. Well, I've made it back to camp. Of course, it ain't much of a camp just yet. It's still, you know, just weeds at this point. That's good to see, you know, other people hanging out over here. Probably not gonna get in trouble or nothing. But anyway, I had to come back and came back, parked. I jumped in the car and cooled off for a little while. I was getting a little bit overheated, to be honest with you. I'm not acclimated to summer yet. I'm still acclimated to wintertime. What, 4 days ago we had camped out in 5 inches of snow, and it's 90 degrees right now. Leo has, as they used to say, had the lick. It is time to relax. Well, after camp, then we'll relax. Alright, we'll see y'all in a minute. Let's get to it. Well, I got camp set. Just in time, too. The sun has gone, and it will be getting dark real soon. Well, I figured we got a battery in. I figured before it gets dark, you know, which ain't gonna be long, I would come out here real quick and show you guys what we're playing with today. Now, like I said earlier, this is the Talon T87 Beast e-bike. 2 batteries, 2 motors, front and rear. This thing has all-wheel drive, y'all. I won't bore y'all to death with, you know, specs, but there is a few things, you know, just for anyone who may be curious. First of all, this thing ate these little hills up. I mean, it did really well, bunny hopping across the tracks. Got up that one cemetery, and I was using the bike. I had it, you know, going and had it pull me up the hill. So, yeah, very handy. But its top speed is somewhere right at 28 miles an hour. It's 3,000 watt motors. There's 2 1,500 watt motors, one on the front and one on the back. Has approximately a 90-mile range. Yeah, you heard me right. And you can either run it with both power banks on, both motors on, and, you know, get the torque, you know, the torque, the speed, all that good stuff. Or you can just run it one battery at a time and, you know, increase your range, you know, 90 miles on this thing. It'll carry 330 pounds. It has 2 15.6 amp hour 48 volt batteries, hydraulic brakes. Yeah, I know, right? On a bicycle, hydraulic brakes, right? But it has IP6 waterproof rating. Now, what that means basically, what is it, 1,000 liters? I read this. I looked it up. It says it can be sprayed with 1,000 liters per minute for 3 minutes without doing damage. Now, from what I've read, you know, on their page, you know how you wash it, you know, clean it when you get it nasty. You just pop the batteries out and you can clean it with a garden hose. You can't beat that. That's pretty easy. But it's also a 7-speed bicycle. It has a derailleur, has 7 speeds. You can ride it as a bicycle if you'd want. But this thing is really built tough, guys. That is carbon steel. That frame is carbon steel. It's not made of aluminum. This thing is made to take some punishment. Now, the rims are aluminum alloy, but the frame itself is carbon steel. This thing is designed to take some punishment. And it did today. I've put a few miles on it and got it good and dirty. I mean, you can, you know, you can see how dirty we done got it. But that's okay. That's what you want it for, you know. But thank you, Talon. I very much appreciate you guys. this little puppy is going to come in very handy on a lot of these old search missions, you know, where you're getting out in the woods and, you know, or some wild place like this. And, you know, you're looking for places, looking for old historic sites or whatever, graves, you know, whatever. That little puppy is going to help a lot. So I would imagine you guys will probably seeing more of the Beast bike real soon. The only thing I've done so far is I put 2 little GoPro mounts on it. I put one up here and I put one on the fender too. So, you know, get that low flying view, you know, flying low. But I think it looks great. I mean, that thing is absolutely gorgeous. But you got 2 switches. You can turn on either one, you know, that one's on, back off. Or you can do the same with the other one, you know, if you wanted to run it that way. Just power it up, go. Sorry, had to sneeze. What are you gonna say? You know, what can I say? What can I say? I'm human. Don't tell nobody. But anyway, just kind of give you some of the basics, you know, that kind of thing, just in case some of you may want one. And I'll be honest with you, the price on this thing is astoundingly reasonable. My other one is right at $2,400. This thing's like $13.99 before our discount. And we got a discount for you to knock some off of that too. But 90-mile range, guys, on a charge. By anybody's standards, that is very, very impressive. But anyway, I guess we're pretty much done with the bike for today. It's going to get, you know, like I said, it's going to get dark real soon, and we're expecting a thunderstorm a little bit later. It's going to get really, really, really wet tonight. I don't know how much rain we're going to get, but neither does the weatherman. So, you know. Anyway, all right, I guess I better get off here. It looks like I don't have that much daylight left. Well, I'm in my tent. Got everything all set up. Got my hoodie on. It's starting to get a little bit cool out there. It's supposed to be like 40 by dawn and a high of around 55 tomorrow. So that sounds a lot better than 90. You know, I'm totally not accustomed to that 90-degree stuff. But I covered a lot of ground today, but I do believe I did just a little bit too much. That's all right. We'll get us a good rest tonight, and tomorrow's a new day. Right now, we've got a train rolling up through the old ghost town of O'Keefe. Don't matter where I go, there's always a train. Anyway, I do believe I will be calling it a night pretty soon. Done told Heather good night, and it ain't even 10 o'clock yet. That's a bad sign. Oh well, don't do quite so much on 90-degree days when you got to climb 3 mountains. That's dumb. Now we know. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Let my little fire go out outside. Soon as she's gone, I'm gone. Good night. Good morning, everybody. It stormed last night. Yeah, I say it that way. It didn't storm. It stormed last night. This tent was absolutely... I mean, it was dancing all night long. You know, what's that? Pop, lock, and drop it. I think it was doing that for a minute. But yeah, it did all but the drop it part. But anyway, I think I'm going to fix me some sausage and eggs here in a minute. I didn't eat a bite yesterday. My stomach was wrecked. I take it back. I ate like 3 potato chips, just trying to get it to settle down. Oh well, it did eventually. about, I don't know, midnight, something like that, somewhere in through there. But yeah, it's going to be a blustery day, very windy. That is better. That is what the doctor ordered. I was gonna make a big pork chop last night and some mushrooms and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, just got to feeling bad, not feeling like eating. I went to bed. Now I figured I'd just break out the pork chop this morning and fix the pork chop and a couple eggs and have me a nice little breakfast. Well, believe it or not, guys, I am right in the center of the old ghost town of O'Keefe. There's ruins down the riverside down that way, a few stuff, little things here, and there's some more, but hand off the throttle. We'll get to exploring here in a little while. Just kind of, like I said, getting a lay of the land. Pretty sure the other cemetery that I'm after is up that hill right there. It looks like there's an access road going up right there. So I'm assuming that's most likely the other cemetery that I'm looking for. But we'll get to all of that and checking out some of the old ruins. I saw something look like a square, like a well. I'm not really sure what it was, but I'm sure we'll find it. A lot of old ones, aren't they? There's Selkirk McCoy over there. Yes, in case any of you are wondering, that is the main road through here. Absolutely. Wolford, Ray Wolford. It says died 1935. A whole bunch of field stones. Look at that. Lieutenant Selkirk McCoy, Company E, 45th Battalion, Virginia Infantry, CSA, Confederate soldier, y'all. 1830, 1908. That's an interesting one right there. Richard Prater, 1859 to 1942. Well, guys, we have bounced back excellently. Sure have. And it's hard to believe what a good night's rest and a good meal, can do for you. Looky here. We have found stuff already. Some ruins right here along the riverbank. I haven't went, 200-300 feet from my tent. I can see it right there. Stone, concrete. They're not stone, they're concrete. Sort of pyramid shaped, posts, pillars. You can see where something, no doubt, something set on those two and something set on these two, isn't it? I just noticed that. Those match and these match. Somebody's put some, who knows. But it looks like a room over here. I can see a foundation right here. There was a house here. There was a house right. You can see somebody's basement. Somebody had dug out a root cellar or something right there. See the concrete stone wall going all the way out there. Wow. Check that out, guys. The very foundations of the old ghost town of O'Keefe. I see more stuff over here too. Whole bunch of stuff all through there. Looks like there was a large house maybe here. You can see the room here. There's bricks. I'm careful where I'm walking. Everything's got dead grass over top of it and covers holes really well. Look at that. It's an enclosed room. It's long. Goes right down through there. The wall, you can see that wall is leaning this way. It's fell in. It's leaning real bad down there. But there's a brick. Looked like that might have been the door to get into this basement, root cellar. For all we know, could have been, somebody could have lived in there. There's some more too. Wow, look at that. It really is the very foundations of the ghost town of O'Keefe. And I still haven't went. The tent's right there. I still haven't went anywhere. See if we can see the other side. You can see the room here. See the wall on the other side, right there. Big hole. And this wall right here has fell over that way. Look at the size of that thing. There's a big old tree at one time. But you can see the brick that I was talking about right there. See it real good from here. There's a wall. There's a foundation to something right there. Looks like an open area right here. Could be anything. It can be hard to find stuff. It's like a little creek right here. A little drainage. So I would imagine this was a little drainage ditch basically. Probably handled a lot of sewage, I'm guessing. I don't believe they had modern flush toilets. Somebody's flowers. Look at that. Someone has set those out many, many, many years ago. A lot of trash you can see down on the riverbank, just in case anybody's curious. That's from floods and things. That happens. Some's litter, some's, you know, people's garage gets flooded and, you know, the tarp just washes out. There's something. It's a little access road to go down to the river. Let's see. The town's that way, so I'm guessing this was, you know, just to go down to the... We'll glance anyway. We'll take a quickie peek since we're right here at the road. Railroad tie. Ground's very soft from all the rain. It stormed last night. A mattress and look that one out. I would imagine he's going to fall pretty soon. I don't really see much down here. See geese. Not exactly what we're looking for though. Some old tin. So I'm sure they would have probably used this, you know, river access. Something. There's some more flowers right there. But I believe the town would have been up there a little bit higher, not down here on the riverbank. I see some more flowers right there too. They're all over the place. Shortcut. The water weeds getting started already. I hate those things. Bad as kudzu. Gotta be really careful. It's really wet. We got mountain goat gear on. Mountain goat gear accomplished. More flowers. Like a little road, maybe a driveway. Look at all those flowers. But this is really pretty when they all get bloomed out. There's a few. There's a few. There's a sofa sitting back there. Imagine what this must have looked like 100 years ago. None of that trash would have been there, that's for sure. I would imagine they probably had that all cleaned up. And it was probably a, you know, community little beach kind of thing down there. A duck down there. Goose. You can see where it looks like it's been, you know, leveled out and everything. And what is that? It looked like could have been an old road. No, I don't think they would have one up here. I believe they'd just come right up the bottom. I would. This makes sense. Alright, well, I found something else. A whole bunch. See the railroad ties? Somebody stuck railroad ties into the ground and made a fence. There's one down there. So this would have been, where I'm at right now, would have been, according to Mick, the gentleman, you know, that I met yesterday, this would have been, we'll say, within 50 yards of where the doctor's office was. Not much now, is it? You can see the flowers, more of those. They're everywhere, some over there. Looks like some deer have been bedding down there and over here. Good spot for it though. I mean, you're out in the middle of nowhere and under cover. It's got a good windbreak too. Deer are slick, ain't they? They know what they're doing. But this was probably either houses or a whole row, more likely, of houses and businesses right here where I am now, because you can see the fence line made out of the railroad ties goes up to there. The last one I see is about that old dead tree right there. Thorn. Another thorn. Kind of following the fence line. You can see the posts about midway. That's the bank over there where you go down over to the river. Let's see what we see over here. More flowers. It's in a row. This is in a row. These flowers are all in a row, and there's a gap in the middle. The door, maybe? Oh, this looks pretty so far. Oh, and the trash. Well, that little beach goes way up through there, don't it? It's all sandy down here, rocky. I bet a lot of kids and stuff played in that river. I bet most people that drive by on that road over there don't even know that any of this stuff is here. That this old town is actually even here. Or was. There's something. Here's a corner of a cabin. Oh my God. I just happened to look down. I almost tripped over it. Somebody's cabin. That's the bottom. They used railroad ties. Wow. As the foundation. They used railroad ties. I almost tripped on that. That is cool. So this was, I guess, the door. Remember the line of flowers that would have put the door right there. This one wall going right up toward that way, and another one over here presumably. We'll look over here. I don't see anything back there. More flowers, but no foundation of any kind. That is. Who knows? It could have been drug off too, moved over the decades and decades and decades. I know the river's been up here before. You know, it's last flood we had was what, right at 50 feet. So that's probably, if that ain't up here, it's real close. It might not get up here. This might be a little bit too high. There's something, some kind of little trench or something. Could have been a foundation. Or the gap in between. There's a hole of some kind. There's some stone. That's an old pipe. What is that? Yeah, it's an old pipe. It's a part of the old drainage system, no doubt. Huh. They didn't just use ditches. They actually had pipe. Imagine that. I didn't know they had, you know, went to all that kind of trouble. I just kind of figured they, you know, just had ditches and stuff. So that's new. That's interesting. Look at that. A white Christmas tree from long, long ago. Something up here, I think. Looks like a bunch of roofing from an old shed or something. No, those were dumped here. That's not from this. That's dumped here. Bad litter bugs. More flowers. They're everywhere. They are everywhere. I worked my way down this side and then come back down on the tracks. I know I saw some stuff out there yesterday when I was riding the bike. Look at this. Is that not beautiful? Little redwoods in there. Redwood. Redbud. Redwood. No, can't go that way. Look at that. Well, ain't you pretty? Look at that. You can see more flowers too, all around there, over there on the bank. Very, very overgrown. Now that one's a thorn. Go under that one. Ta-da! Through the thicket. Just like Bear Rabbit. Cinder blocks and an old Maxwell House coffee can. I wonder how long that's been laying there. I see some stone structures out here. The coal tipple would have been, I'm getting into the area where the coal tipple would have been too, down that way. Something right here. Even Brer Rabbit gets caught every now and then, hurt the bunny. That's a big stone, isn't it? It's got holes in it. I wonder what that was for. There's something. I can see some of the piers over there, some of the foundations for the tipple too. It's wild, ain't it? You never know what you're going to run into, and just trying to picture things the way they might have been. But you can see like phone poles here, and then lines that go, and they're just disconnected down by my tent. That was the lines to the old town. Well, they had power too, or at least in the later stages anyway. I bet there's a many a fish caught down there. I bet there's a lot of fish caught down there. Some rugged mountains, ain't it? Look at that. Vertical with just a little scratch cut out in the side of it for a road. Look at that. I found something over the hill, but I figured since the train here, it's a good time to see where that train is over on that track. And this track over here, the train station would have been in the middle. That's where we're going to go there in a little while. But for right now, I just found something. I don't even know what I'm looking at. You can see, not that, there's over here. Those two right there, that one and that one. Those, you can see foundations, you know, for the coal tipple, how they put the coal, you know, on trains and send it on out of here. But I have found something weird here. There's railroad track back here, a stone wall right here made from stone and, you know, cement, and another one out about 40 or 50 feet into the river. So I'm kind of wondering, I was just kind of standing here wondering, you know, if they had been using that to maybe ship stuff down the river, you know, some of it. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. Small barges. I know the tug, you could go up to mate one, but I don't know about this way. I know for sure there used to be tugs going up to the old Hatfield Tunnel and mate one. So I don't know about up in here or not. But there was definitely something, because you can see it out there in the middle of the river. And there's some old machinery right here. Right there sticking up, right here sticking up. It's buried. Whatever it is buried underneath this ground right here. So there was definitely something, I don't want to say industrial, but just, it looks as though, you know, it was either some sort of water port or some way to, you know, come in out of town or load coal or something. Who knows? But you can see there's like a remnants of about a 2 by 12 over there, with great big old screws in it about every foot. So that was holding up something really, really, really heavy. But this is wild, isn't it? I mean, just old railroad track right there, and the wall there, and this one out here. I had no idea. All of this is brand new information. You know, did not know that they were, you know, doing that kind of thing, and actually had, you know, basic plumbing. Heh. Now we know, right? That's why you do this stuff. Deer. That is not Cocoa Pebbles, y'all. But you can see the metal. There's something that looks like it could be, now I don't know, I don't want to guess. It'd be ridiculous to guess at this point. But here's another one. Whatever it is, it's buried underneath all of this dirt and stuff here. But it was obviously, looks like it was part of this. Let's just kind of look around just a hair here. Very weedy. Lots of vines. Yeah. Okay, there's the railroad track. And there's that, there's something. Railroad tie was got spikes through it. That no doubt was for something. But those pillars over there, like I said, that was the coal tipple itself. You have to imagine this massive metal structure standing right there, and houses all the way up through here, houses all the way down through here, and the train station in the middle. And wow, kind of picture it in your head, you know. It's an empty place now, isn't it? All right, let's go up. We should be getting about to the point where the train station would have been. Right in the middle. There's some stuff up through here too. Alright, let's look around, head over to the center. Check that out. I found something else. You can see part of the original rail line right there. I hear one coming. Matter of fact, he'll be on that far track. That one and that one over there are the only ones being used. These two here are rusty. He's on the far track over there. Yep. Nowhere near me. He's going to be way over there. Just saying. We keep an eye on that. No doubt. But you can see some of the original rail line right here, and railroad ties. And they got a great big pile of them right here. Of course, I think it's dead ends on the other end too these days. You know, all the new tracks have replaced it. But I just thought that was really cool. Some of the old rail lines. Well, I was going to wait till the train left, but that train is too long. I ain't got that kind of time. Anyway, I guess y'all can hear me. I'll keep it close. You can see the original rail line right here. Now the ties have just dropped away from, you know, the ground has deteriorated over the years, and just let the ties drop away from the old rail line. But you can see it's made different. Yes, yes, I hear you. I thought it might be atmosphere, but that's not what I had in mind. You can see, like I was saying, those screaming, okay, they're much beefier than, you know, what we've got nowadays. They look like they're closer together too. They look like quite a bit closer together, but the connectors, you can see, are much beefier. Big old nuts on there. Yeah, you're loud. Here comes two more engines, so it's still going. It's way up through there. Something else I want to show you over here too in a second. We will let him go for that. I'm a long ways from camp. See that ridge where it comes down way on the other side of the valley? That's where camp is. I'm probably a solid quarter mile from camp right now. Where'd the engine go? There it is. That'll be pretty much midway if they got two in the middle. So yeah, train's still going. Finally. Man, that was a really, really long train. Check out that hillside though. Is that not beautiful? That's about as rugged as they get. Well, they call West Virginia wild and wonderful right there, y'all. But look what a view here. Oh, I see a little patch of sunshine right there on the trees moving. You see it? Hello, little patch of sunshine. Oh, I see a hole in the clouds. And more sunshine up there. What I wanted to show y'all, check this out. Look how pretty that is. You imagine this 100 years ago? You know, you'd have no trash, obviously, but you know, even the sides would be different. You know, you'd have forest coming all the way down to the edge of the water. I bet this place was beautiful back in the day. But that's the far end of the town. We have covered the far end. So I'm going to work my way back down, kind of filter to the right side this time, and just see what I see. Well, going back down toward camp, I'm following the old rail lines here. You can tell that it's been a long time since these things were used. You couldn't run nothing on them now. But anyway, my point is, this right here would have been the site of the old train station. I just thought it was kind of wild, you know, that, you know, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, you wouldn't be able to find this place. You know, once this old rail line here is the, you know, the only real, you know, landmark right here in this spot to signify where it was. So it's a good thing we came at this particular point of history, isn't it? Somewhere right in here at the old train station. Very cool, huh? Like they've been worked and reworked, the rail lines here, many times over the years. Just all the junk wound up over here. Found this little spot on the bike yesterday when I was out exploring, but it didn't, you know, 2 and 2 didn't add up. But now, you know, knowing what Mick said, I know this would have been something to do with the train station, because it would have been right down here. An old phone pole sitting there, what's left of one too. Look at that. I think it been cut down many years ago, wasn't it? Here comes another one. Hello. Hello, deep hole that goes to nowhere. I would drop a rock down there, see how long it takes, but you wouldn't be able to hear it for the train. Noisy train gone. Anyway, there's the old track right there. You can see sections of it. I couldn't see it at all from the other side. You couldn't tell that it was, you know, the old track until I got up to the end of it, and you could see, oh, hello. But anyway, the shaft right here, you can hear it if you drop a pebble in it. It's only about 10 feet deep. Don't know what that was. Have no clue what this building could have been. But it was something, wasn't it? It was definitely something. Can't tell where the door would have been or much about it. Kind of weird the way it's made though, isn't it? The edge went up through there. Kind of weird the way the floor was made in it, like maybe it was for equipment or something. Keep stuff out of the weather. But then what's the hole for? Right there. Alright, let's start heading our way back down. There's that ridge line. So camp is down that way. I'm almost back. I can see the car from here anyway. Paying attention, following the old rail line there, watching it. See if it does anything, you know. Not just looking for anything unusual. Whatever it might be. Man, I really covered some territory on this trip. I really did. I think I did well. 2 graveyards, covered that mountain. Where am I? That one. And another one up through there. All of that stuff. Down through that way. We found a little bit though. It was worth it. We found stuff, didn't we? Found all kinds of old ruins. Still looking at the track. Didn't even realize what I was looking at. The other one's buried right through here. Had no idea. You can tell a big difference in them too. You see how that's bolted right there? And there, and there. Notice these newer ones. See the difference? These are continuous, you know. Those right there are the older track, individual, bolted together, old school. Look at that. I was saying about how beefy the brackets are. Look at that. I bet there's one just as big on the inside too. Yep. Very windy too, by the way. Very windy. I was gonna fly the drone today, but yesterday and today. Yesterday was hot and windy. Today's cold and windy. What are you gonna do? And well, folks, it looks as though we have pretty much explored all of what's left of O'Keefe. You know, the old ghost town used to be ghost town. Now it's remnants of a ghost town, I suppose. But we did find a bunch of stuff. Found foundations and all kinds of flowers and all kinds of places where people's houses and where people's lives once took place. But it's completely abandoned now. But for those of you who may be interested, I did a couple graveyard explorations and, you know, a couple other videos too while I was here. So if y'all want to check those out, you know, more than welcome to. Just thought I'd tell you about them. But anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all coming along with me, checking out the old ghost town of O'Keefe, West Virginia. So I guess until next time, until the next little adventure, Leo out. We'll see you guys later.